It's Monday, June 14th. I'm Aaron Hinken. Coming up, Maryland's political map is about to get redrawn, and the redistricting raises questions about equity for minority voters. And Baltimore County might sell off a piece of its past as it looks to put historic Perry Hall Mansion up for bids. It's the Daily Dose from WYPR, our latest reporting on Maryland's COVID-19 response and the local news of the day, made possible by GBMC Healthcare. Baltimore's mayor has joined growing calls for Governor Hogan to not end the $300 federal unemployment benefit for Marylanders. The extra COVID relief benefit is due to expire on July 3rd. Mayor Brandon Scott joined other city leaders in writing a letter to Hogan, urging him to reconsider. Scott says the funds cost the state absolutely nothing and help residents struggling to make ends meet amid the pandemic. Come this fall, many students will be returning to in-person learning across Maryland, but Harford County will also offer students the option of continuing virtual education. The move by the County Board of Education comes after some students said it was a better way for them to learn. There are more than 750 students from kindergarten through 12th grade enrolled in the district's virtual learning program. All students in the county will be eligible. Ocean City Police are facing growing condemnation following the violent arrests of young black men who were vaping while walking this weekend. On the video, which has now gone viral, one arrest shows a young black man repeatedly being kneed in the side as he's held down by a group of officers. The other incident shows another young man holding up his hands as he's shot with a taser. Vaping is illegal in undesignated areas. Maryland lawmakers and others are demanding answers about the use of force. Ocean City Police said they would undertake a review. Baltimore County wants to sell an historic mansion that played a role in the founding of the Methodist Church in the U.S. WYPR's John Lee reports the county has owned Perry Hall Mansion for 20 years, but it has not been used for a decade.
Leaders of the American Methodist Church met at Perry Hall Mansion in 1784 to plan their organizing conference, which was held in Baltimore. The mansion was built in the 1770s. Now it sits in a residential neighborhood. The original foundation survived a fire in 1839, and the mansion was rebuilt on top of it. County Councilman David Marks, who represents the Perry Hall area, says the building needs work.
It's a terrific find for someone if they really want to put the money into it.
Ann Gritchen, director of the Preservation Alliance of Baltimore County, says it could be used for several things.
It could be a private business, a commercial business, a business incubator, a nonprofit center.
The deadline to make the county an offer is tomorrow. I'm John Lee reporting for 88.1 WYPR.
One more headline for you. This one, I guess, falls under the category of DIY to the extreme. Baltimore City Police say a local man experiencing a heart attack tried to drive himself to the hospital in a stolen ambulance. When medics arrived in the wee hours and left the ambulance running on the 900 block of Seagull Avenue, the man hopped in and drove off. The 38-year-old patient, whose name has not been released, was stopped by police a few blocks later and driven safely to the hospital. Maryland and its localities are about to get politically carved up. For the first time in a decade, state and local officials will be redrawing the lines that determine the districts of congressmen, legislators, and council members. John Lee reports debates over political influence and fairness for minority voters lie ahead.
Minorities make up about 40% of Baltimore County's population, but 6 of its 7 council members are white. The 4th District on the west side is the county's only minority-majority district. According to census data, blacks, Asians, and Latinos make up about 80% of that district's population. Ryan Coleman, president of the Randallstown branch of the NAACP, says the 4th District can afford to lose some minority voters. He says lines can be redrawn to increase minority representation in adjoining districts.
Because even if it's not a minority-majority district, the more minority votes in a district, the better it is, because then those people can hold their council person accountable.
Coleman wants the county council to rework its district lines so minority candidates would have a better shot of winning more seats. But Council Chairman Julian Jones, who represents the 4th District and is the council's only African American, says he doesn't want to lose any part of his district.
Not to say that may not have to happen based on the population, but I'm not ready to cut loose any part of my district.
The county council appointed a commission to study redistricting and submit a proposal. At a recent meeting, Jones and commission member Robert Latshaw said blacks living outside the 4th District are in scattered pockets throughout the rest of the county.
Almost impossible to be able to group them into a particular district.
Coleman, with the NAACP, disagrees.
Just looking at the map, this is a very doable thing. This is a very feasible thing.
Debates like that over redistricting will be playing out in coming months in council chambers across Maryland, as well as in the State House in Annapolis. Democrats in the General Assembly will be drawing the political lines for Congress and the legislature. They were roundly criticized for gerrymandering during the last state redistricting 10 years ago. Republican State Senator Chris West, who represents Central Baltimore County, knows he is an easy redistricting target. West lives close to the line that separates his district from Democratic State Senator Shelley Heddleman.
3 doors away from the line. To move me into a different legislative district would be nothing more than a little slip of the pen.
West then would be part of Heddleman's district and would have to run against her. Republican Governor Larry Hogan in January appointed a 9-person independent commission equally divided between Democrats, Republicans, and independents to come up with nonpartisan state redistricting maps. It cannot consider things like where a politician lives and how people have voted in the past. State Planning Secretary Robert McCord says he expects independent commissions like Maryland's will become more popular nationwide as people get tired of district lines being drawn behind closed doors.
And people seem to become more dissatisfied with elected officials picking their voters as opposed to voters trying to pick elected officials.
But the legislature can choose to ignore the Redistricting Commission's work. State Senate President Bill Ferguson declined requests for comment. State Democratic leaders have said that they favor a national fix to gerrymandering. Redistricting happens every 10 years and is tied to population data in the decennial census. Those results are not expected until the end of September. That puts Baltimore County's Redistricting Commission in a bind because it's required by the charter to deliver its proposed district maps to the council by October 15th. Council Chair Jones says every attempt will be made to follow the charter. The census results were delayed because of the pandemic. I'm John Lee reporting for 88.1 WYPR.
That's going to wrap it up for this episode of The Daily Dose. We'll be here for you again tomorrow. The Daily Dose is brought to you by WYPR, made possible by GBMC Healthcare. Big thanks to the WYPR news team, Rachel Bay, John Lee, Joel McCord, Emily Sullivan, and Sarah Y. Kim. Our digital content director is Jamila Krempel, and our general manager is LaFontaine Oliver. The executive editor of The Daily Dose is Danielle Irby. Stay healthy, stay sane, and stand together. I'm Aaron Hinken. Thanks for listening.